U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has said he plans to deport 11 million undocumented immigrants, and that now has Canadian officials bracing for what it could mean at our border. The federal government says it is prepared for an increase in migrants from the U.S. heading north. It is something border officials here are already closely watching. So Moshe Lander is a senior lecturer of economics at Concordia University. He's joining us with a closer look at this issue this morning. Good morning.
Good morning again.
Well, let's start with some news that developed over the weekend. Trump has appointed Tom Homan as his new, what he describes as the border czar. Homan, as some people might remember, was the acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Trump's first term. He oversaw the zero-tolerance policy that saw thousands of children separated from their parents at the border, those kids in cages images that became famous. How will a similar tough stance by the U.S. affect us here in Canada?
Well, if there's 11 million people that he plans to deport, are they going to wait to be gathered up and put in cages and sent back where they came from? Or are they going to try and take matters into their own hands and try and avoid the czar? One way to do it is to try and hide and move underground. The other way to do it is to head for safe harbor, and Canada might be one of those places. So it's not that 11 million people are going to show up at Windsor, but there's certainly a good chance that some of those 11 million are coming this way.
Just on another one, something else to point out on that point, Homan's mandate, as given by U.S. President-elect Trump, was to monitor the southern and northern borders. I'm assuming that means the long border with Canada. What could that look like, and what would that mean?
You know, the idea that you're going to deploy guards to the border here, or you're going to try and do something to control the border is almost impossible. We are proud to say that it's the longest undefended border in the world, but I also don't think it's really defensible. In the case of Mexico, they went the path of trying to build the wall, but the reality is that they weren't able to build a wall the entire distance. That's just not possible. And I can't imagine that they're going to start trying to erect a wall barring, say, Montana from parts of Alberta and Saskatchewan. It's just too difficult, and the pushback would be too severe. So I think that they're going to probably try and clamp down a little bit when people try to cross the border at legitimate crossings, maybe a little bit of drone deployment. But I just don't think that they're going to try and take the approach with Canada that they're going to take with Mexico.
Well, as we learned from his first term in office, never say never. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced, if we're going to take a look at borders from this side of the border, we know our government has made several measures to curb immigration. That's a shift from when Trump first took office in 2016. In 2017, the Prime Minister posted a message to social media that said, "To those fleeing persecution, terror, and war, Canadians will welcome you regardless of your faith. Diversity is our strength." What effect could Trudeau's new messaging have on asylum seekers that are considering coming this way?
Yeah, it's a very different message than 7 years ago, right? So now with the message in Canada itself that immigrants are not as welcome, with a possible change of government coming that's probably not going to be nearly as supportive of immigration, that message will be heard loud and clear. And so the last time we spoke, we were talking about the message that sends medium to long term. Here, too, I think that Canada is not going to be as welcoming. It becomes how desperate are people. We have seen that asylum seekers have been sneaking across the Quebec border. It's a point of contention between Ottawa and Quebec City. Is anybody going to be able to tidy that up and make sure that people aren't drifting across the border? Again, it's not 11 million people we're talking about. It's do tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands make it across. Is that too much for Canada even to stomach at this point? And will Canada try and beef up its border and work cooperatively with the U.S., at least on the ethical part of trying to limit immigration, not the unethical way that they've done it in the past?
Yeah, Premier Legault already saying he wants weekly reports on illegal migrants coming across his border there in Quebec. Listen, we'll have to have you back, talk about third safe country agreement and how that is affected with this new administration and the new immigration laws. Moshe, thanks for coming with us this morning.
Anytime.
If you liked that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.